This is Logan Johns reporting live from Washington, D.C. Today, we will be taking a deep dive and a deeper look as to why the DEI department being eliminated could change the history of Americans forever. In this deep dive in this conversation, we will be taking a look as to what college students will take from this and what this means for high school students, specifically for people of color. This is Logan Johns reporting live from Washington, D.C. Eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion, formerly known as DEI departments, can significantly impact the social, economic, and political trajectory of the United States, and here's why. DEI efforts are rooted in the civil rights movement, which sought to dismantle institutional barriers for marginalized communities. Without DEI departments, organizations may revert to exclusionary practices, potentially widening racial and gender disparities in workplaces, education, and leadership. It can also change the workforce in ways such as leadership representation, impact on economic equity, potential legal and political ramifications, and last but not least, cultural and social shifts. The removal of DEI departments may lead to legal battles over affirmative action, hiring practices, and workplace discrimination. Politically, it could signal a shift towards policies that deprioritize systemic equity, reshaping legislation on civil rights. Without DEI, narratives around inclusion, privilege, and historical injustices could change forever. Education in corporate spaces might emphasize meritocracy without acknowledging systemic barriers, potentially reshaping how Americans understand race, gender, and social justice. I was able to host a little bit of a Zoom call to see where high school and college students will be able to communicate and see what they thought about Trump's administration specifically and why DEI means so much to American society and why we should have not gotten rid of it as a society. Here's what they said.
I would just say so many things are just so problematic. And I think that goes for a lot of aspects of the Trump administration, whether it's the dehumanization of immigrants and people of color and LGBTQ people and a bunch of different minorities, just what he wants to pass and what he's trying to pass, and what he's advocating for, one would say, is just harmful, and it doesn't support an American society because he only has a few small, he has views of what he wants it to be, of what America should be, but it's won't be beneficial to anyone.
Yeah, I would say that it feels like a failure in a lot of ways. It feels like, well, for people who were aware of what he would do, the platform that he was campaigning on, it feels like the realization of pretty much everything he said he would do. But I think for a lot of people, especially minorities who ended up placing their support with him, it still manages to feel like a betrayal. He's dismantling exactly what we thought American society would look like and what it should be. And it also, in a lot of ways, is it's like seeing the ideas that always kind of simmered under the surface of corporate support of minorities come to light. I mean, the way that we've been seeing corporations bend to his will when it comes to the rollback of DEI programs in so many major industries and in areas of life where minorities find themselves kind of secretly hated. In a lot of ways, it just feels like a betrayal, and it feels like we are moving backwards in progress in so many ways.
Black families, white families, people of color, families who've lived in America for generations, you see the differences in wealth generation because of exclusion. And so taking away, things like affirmative action and DEI really doesn't take that into account. And it's something that I disagree with.
Eliminating DEI, eliminating the Department of Education, and much more will negatively impact the history of the American people and the history of us as a country. Thank you for listening to my story, and this is Logan Johns. Back to you.